Welcome to another episode of Krazys Cookbook. We're back and I've got Formi with me this time. Yeah, right, done.
Yes, bro. What's on the menu today, Kraz?
Right, so I have a massive fish, not a batty fish, a massive fish. Yeah. Right, this is a black tilapia, not tilapia, as I kept on saying before, but yeah. Check him out.
Big boy.
Big boy, yeah. Well,
yes.
We're going to get on with this, yeah? And I'll be back before me in a minute. Today at the supermarket, went and got this fish. It's already been cleaned and descaled. All the scales are off of it, as you see. When you run your finger back up, there's no scales coming up. So what you want to do is make sure you dry the fish off properly. Yeah, it should be quite dry anyway. But look, little spots like that, you know what I mean? And then flip that over and make sure you've got the whole thing done, both sides. Because fish are from water and they're wet and it's going to mash up how we cook it, right? Okay, so next I'm going to put some slices into the fish so I can get some flavour in there. So I'm going to go straight in there with this super sharp knife that I sharpened earlier. Look after your knives to sharpen them up all the time. Right, go straight up as well. The higher up the fish I get it, the more flavour I get in there. So I usually just do 3 cuts here, but this is such a big fish. I'm going to put a 4th one in there as well. Up in the toe just to get an extra bit of flavour in that. Yeah, and I flip that round. And then straight in, pow. No ramping. Around this wing. Like that. And like that. Right, straight through. I'm going to chop some garlic up and I'm going to put that inside and around the fish, and then I'm going to put some salt and pepper and some thyme and bay leaves in this fish. I'm going to make a sauce for it, but this is just a pre-bit of seasoning. So as usual I crush the garlic to make it easier to take out of the wrapping, so that comes out real easy, real nice. And as I say, always get the big garlic, get the giant ones, don't get the small ones because they're too fiddly. You always need lots of garlic. Who don't like lots of garlic, you know? Makes your food taste peng, so chop that up, try and get that nice and fine so all the flavour gets into the food. Grab 2 at a time, don't be afraid. Just don't chop off your thumb when you're doing it. And as I said, this ain't gonna be too pretty, it's not for a sauce, I'm chucking it inside the fish, so it's all good. Right, so we get some in there. And as I say, we get in the cavities. We squish them right in the fish and get in the gaps. And as I say, I've got this extra 4th gap because this fish is huge. Bit of a monster. And he just fought me back a little bit, he just stabbed me with the spike. And then inside the fish, we making a dish to serve to your bitch. What? Alright, so I think that's some in each of it there. I've not neglected that. I will pick up the pieces in a minute. Now, I'm going to put a bit of season it because, as it says, it's for all purposes. Like that. And flip that back round. And make sure it's evenly distributed all over the fish. I'm going to chuck some salt and pepper. That's already pre-grinded in the pestle and mortar. And you want that to get right in the gaps as well. Get the salt in there because that's the flavour. And then the fish head for when Rogan Josh eats that after the bathroom. Wait, what? Alright, so now, then we get some thyme. And we stick that in there. And some in his belly. I'm assuming it was a male fish, so I didn't want to assume genders. Could be a female fish. And then, of course, it would not be my cookery if I didn't just chuck some of these bad boys in. These are bay leaves. Right, so I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to start working on the sauce, and I'm going to get ready for the rice as well, because I got to clean off the rice and wash the rice. Next up, because of how long it takes to cook and the cleaning and everything like that, I'm going to get on with the rice. I've chose to use wild and basmati rice because you get the wild bits in there, which have got loads more fibre and it's a little bit more chewy, but it's better for you having a bit of roughage and that. But always, I say always, make sure you clean your rice. Honestly, people are like, no, you don't need to clean rice. That's utter trash. Have a look. Yeah, the amount of starch that comes out in rice. Some of that water, yeah, is what you want me to look at. It. Change the colour already. You gotta clean your rice. I'm gonna make a sauce now to cover the fish in for when I grill it, because I'm gonna stick it in the grill for a little while. I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna chop up an onion, some tomatoes, some garlic, some Scotch bonnet. I'm gonna have some thyme, bay leaves as usual, and I'm gonna use Mr. Brown's Jamaican style curry seasoning. This is fantastic. Honestly, yeah, don't get other like tropical someone of this. It tastes like football. Get this one. Make sure you get this one. It's beautiful. So. Remember to keep your knife sharp as well. Make sure you sharpen up your knives. Knife sharpeners are cheap. And after what's happened over the last couple of days, keep the knives off the streets. Some mud that's been going on. Yeah, just chop that down, flip it around, slice it out, get that nice and thin because that's going in the sauce. Again, it's a fine dice here, but that's fine. Like a bit of roughy on there. Texture. Right, that is the onions done. Then again, more garlic. Always crush the garlic. Look at the size of that one as well. That's large. It's just for the sauce. As I said, we've got garlic in the fish already, so there's going to be extra garlic in there. But trust me, it's worth it. You're gonna make your breath stink if you let your girl eat some as well, see? Okay, so that's fine and adequate for the sauce. Right, now also tomato. Same thing, just like the onion, chop this up, really fine. But then flip it, bam, 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 bam. That one's a bit soft on that side. Right, and then Scotch bonnet. We got a treat lined up for you with some Scotch bonnets for another episode just coming out on the channel that Formi is going to get into, just set off the trend. But yeah, you wait and see. We got that coming soon. The hot bar 16 bar Scotch bonnet challenge. Gonna be on Madders. So that's a half, and it's the seeds that really do it. So I'm gonna give my one with lots of seeds in it. I want to see your face really screw up. Now this is you notice I picked a yellow orange one because that's, I find they're not quite ripe. They still got the tartness of it, but they've got really good flavour in it. Okay. I'm going to start the sauce off. I'm going to pour a little bit of oil in there. I say a little bit, that looks like a lot, but it'll be fine. Be right on the night. And I'm going to drop those onions in first, because they need the most time. But this ain't going to go in for long. This is just to soften them up a bit. And then we get the garlic straight on that afterwards. Gonna spin that around a little piece, let that soften through. Now if you could smell what's coming out now on the television, you'd be making this already. I'm telling you, like the garlic and onion smell, it's going to be beautiful. So that's softening up. That's going to take literally probably about a minute on a high heat. You just keep it moving around. Onions have been in for probably about a minute now and they're starting to soften up. So I'm going to now put the Scotch bonnet and the tomato in together. And stir that on there. And straight away, so it goes into the flavour when it's cooking, get some bay leaves in there. I want a nice bit of thyme in this as well. This is going to really, this is going to be on the outside of the fish, and the flavour's got to really penetrate through and get into the dish. So I'm going to let this cook down for a second, and then after that I'm going to put in not too much of this. This is a good flavour, you don't need to go too mad on it. But yeah, the flavour in this, it does the speaking, it's different level. Recommend highly, go get some of this. Okay, this is ready to have some curry powder in there. As I said, I'm going to go kind of sparingly, I don't want to go too mental on it. Yeah. And also, now's a good time to have some salt and pepper in there as well, a bit of seasoning. And as usual, this could probably do with a little bit of all-purpose seasoning. This gives it that extra body, extra warmth. Don't go too mad on it. Split that up. Get the flavour going into the veg. Part of my series of 101 things to do with these leftover glue pots. You can, you know, chop water on top of it. With that, I let the curry sauce sticking out of it. At this point, I'm going to take this off the heat and let this cool down a little bit, because I'm going to cook the fish in this, and I don't want it to start cooking the fish from the outside when I do it. I want it to just be nice when it goes on. So this is a perfect time to finish off the rice. To get the rice on the cooker. So I put the rice on the heat now, but you've got to season a lot of the rice. You can't just have plain rice in there, so you need some flavour in that. So I put some salt in there, first start on that, and then after the salt, yes, you're right, bay leaves. Yeah. Also, you want some thyme in there as well. Also, some seasonal, because you know, seasoning and all. And these are making their second appearance of the day. They're going to be making a lot of appearances on Krazys Cookbook and the WORDLIFE channel. As I say, we've got a new series coming out real soon, so you look out for that one here. But this has got to go in there as well when it cooks down. Now the rice is probably going to take about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes to boil up properly, you know what I mean? And now what happens is you get a little bit of, on the top of it, you get some like goop coming up from the rice as well. I always spoon that out and throw that away. Yeah, I'll show you that in a sec. In the time that I'm waiting for the rice to cook, now's a good time to prep my veg. The veg I'm going to do today is okra, otherwise known as lady fingers. I'm not really sure why it's getting a little pointy, but if your girl got fingers like that, you should probably get her to the doctors ASAP. Yeah, but the reason I've got them set up like that in a line, it's the only trick I've got, is because you want to chop off the tops of them. You put them in a line, you can get rid of them all in one go, and get rid of that nasty chewy bit at the top that connects it to the plant. Bam, like so. Bam, you make the job easier for yourself. Bam, and bam, done. And then with the okra, I'm going to put some spring onions, in Jamaica they call it scallions. But yeah, make sure you wash through, and then chop them up. Make sure, yeah, they're all clean. That was a thorough clean, obviously. And then chop off the end, and then chop off the tops, and chop this up. And I'm going to chuck this in with the okra just to give it a bit of flavour when it cooks down. I'm also going to put some lemon and some oil in there and some seasoning as well. And that can go straight in with the okra. Okay, see this in the middle forming, it looks like a lot of the seasoning is there. That's also where a lot of the starch is looking up. So that's going in the sink. And yeah, more will form in a minute, but that's the bit I'm on about anyway. Get rid of that goop. Okay, now I've got the curry that's cooled right down, so I'm going to put that over the fish before I grill the fish. I'm going to flip the fish over, so I don't want to put too much on this side, because when I grill it, obviously that's going to fall off. But I still want that in there when the heat goes in for the flavouring. And an abundance of flavour. So that's going to go around. I get that in the eye, so when Josh is eating that later, yeah, it's nice and flavoured up. But yeah, just literally get your hands in there, flip it over. Oh yeah, you see I slotted bay leaves in the things as well. Do you know how much I love my bay leaves? Right, so again, curry sauce on from this. Spread that out. Now I'm going to keep a little bit of curry sauce in the pan, just a little piece. So when that's done in the piece, I got some I can chop back on there. That is now ready to go in the grill for about 15 minutes. Alright, so now you see the water has gone down to rice level. I'm gonna turn the heat of that down to low so it doesn't mash up the thing. Yeah. In rice and peas, a lot of people use red kidney beans. No problem with that, but traditionally the reason why it's called rice and peas, it's got GUNGO peas. So I'm gonna fling them in on top, and I will mix that up in a bit. Some people put the peas in first as well, yeah, and cook down the peas a little bit before they put the rice in. But I don't do it that way. I think I prefer this way. But it's again, it's down to taste and what you want to make. And next, I'm gonna get some cream coconut, and I'm gonna chop up the cream coconut. Again, some people they use coconut milk from a can. Again, I just like this because I like the bits, but I use like a nice amount of this. I just chop this up real finely, and almost I'm shaving it off, and that busts up into really small pieces, and that saves me, well, having massive lumps in your mouth too much, but it's still kind of bitty as well, so it's not too fine, and it's not in squares either, like these bits at the bottom. But yeah, try to shave as much as you can, and I don't put oil in there as well because that just makes the rice all oily as well. We'll avoid that at all costs. I'm going to put this coconut now, yeah, I'm going to put that right on top, get that all in there. Try not to drop too much on the floor. But I probably could have done that less messy, but and now I'm going to stir it over, but I'm not going to stir it too much because I'm not trying to make it into a dessert. I don't want the rice all busting up, mashing up. I want it to all hold. I just want to make sure there's coconut in the bottom, middle and top, and that the beans or peas, sorry, come all the way around. I'm getting it because I'm going to cover this up now, and then I'm going to leave that and let that sit for a minute. Yeah. Right. And I shouldn't have to remind you, but what's up as you going along? It makes the job easier and you ain't got to do too much when it's done. Okay, now I'm going to put this into the grill for about 15 minutes, and that should come out looking something special. I'm here now with Formi, you've seen at the start of the show. Now he's a rapper who's been doing a lot of this. He won the Last Man Standing season 2 that we done. That was big, a rap battle tournament that we done online over lockdown. Just quickly want to touch on some of the stuff you've been doing. Now you've got Don't Flop Battle coming up.
I have indeed, yeah. November the 13th at Attic Bar in Bristol. I've actually got a hometown battle, which is good, so I don't have to travel down to London. Yeah. Tickets are available now, go grab that. And then I've got a duos battle as well on the 27th of November for the same. It's Don't Flop, Secondhand Smoke. Go check that out as well. Yeah. Lots of music on the way as well.
Can you reveal who you're going to be catching against?
I'm not going to do that yet, actually. I'm going to save it for everyone as a surprise.
Alright, well yeah, but he's going to be there battling no matter what, even if we just go make him battle somebody, if he don't turn up, bragger. But yeah, you've got a project coming out as well, an album?
Yeah, I've got an Eccentrics album, that's me and Pablo Milky Bar, coming through BURNS MANOR RECORDS. Loads of solo stuff on the way, including an EP for WORDLIFE, which is about halfway done.
Yeah.
Excited to show you all, man.
Yeah, man.
And it smells peng in here, can I just say, it smells mental.
Yeah, you're looking forward to the food,
I'm looking forward to it, man.
You're a big fish person?
Yeah.
Alright, well yeah, I'm going to get back to some cooking, but at the end of the show we're going to have him taste the food, and yeah, you can see that. And yeah, we'll play some of his music at the end of the show. So yeah, nice one for coming on, bruv.
Big up.
I'm going to do the okra now. It's about time ready to cook up. It needs a little while to cook because it's quite fibrous vegetable. But I've got lemon, I'm going to put that on top of it. Heat up on that. A little bit of seasoning on there as well, salt and pepper, as usual. A bit of oil in that as well, so let it cook through properly. Come on, it wouldn't be a dish if it didn't have a couple bay leaves in it. And you know, let's get some all-purpose seasoning on that as well. and a little bit of timing as well. But yeah, I'm gonna stir that up. I'm gonna let that cook down as well, let that rest for a bit, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Let's have a look. Oh man, perfect. That is ready to flip over. I mean, look, I know flipping it over can mash it up and what it looks like, yeah? But I want it crispy on both sides, so I'm happy we're gonna do the flip. As it goes, I got a tool. I said I got all kinds of tools in this kitchen. I got a tool that's designed to help with that job. A fish tosser. Yeah, you heard that right. A fish tosser. Pow. So now this is why I wanted more curry on top. I'm gonna put some curry back on top of this now. And then I'm going to put this back in for about 5-10 minutes just to brown off and make it look crispy on the other side, just like how it did before. Okay, before that fish is ready, I'm going to check the rice. I know it's going to be ready anyway, because you know, I'm quite confident, but yes, look at that. Beautiful. And you've got the Scotch bonnet in there somewhere hiding. Adding that extra flavour. Alright, I'm going to close up so we serve. That should be nice. I think we're good and ready to serve now. So before I do serve, I want to remove some of these things from the top just because you can't eat them. Now, make sure you've got clean hands before you touch any food like this. You know, nobody likes a grubby toucher. Or toucher in general, you know. But, right, so I'm going to get a big scoop of this. Lay it out on the side. Okay, then next I'm just gonna line up some okra. Get some of that on there. That's good stuff. Feast of okra. As I say, that's got the spring onions and all that good stuff in there for flavour. Right, now is the time that we've been waiting for. I'm gonna whip this out. Yeah, that's looking ridiculous. That go straight on the plate like that. No ramping. Right, dinner time.
Man, that looks amazing, bro.
I mean, I think it looks alright. It's, you know, it's not the worst thing I've ever made.
Mate, you've cooked some mad dishes, and this is one of the maddest ones I've seen.
I mean, you've had a few like food for me before,
yeah,
innit? So yeah, understandably. But yeah, man. Well, I ain't gonna battle you. I'm gonna slap you with tilapia.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, as always.
What?
Let's go for it straight.
Oh yeah, don't eat them bay leaves as well. So I actually probably take them out.
But they're cool. And get some rice as well. Some of the okra.
Oh, man's got for the full combo meal, yeah?
Come on, you gotta be done. That's mad.
You like that, yeah?
Flavours everywhere.
Yeah, and you haven't died either. So
No, man.
that's
I'm
good
a bit
stuff.
more, man. I'm not gonna lie.
That's good. It's a big ass fish right there.
Trust me. Tastes fresh as well, man.
Oh wow. That's good fish, right?
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Mental.
You can taste the curry right through into the flavour, into the fish as well.
Anybody who wants to come and feature on this show, do not say no, because you get to eat stuff like this. Come on.
There is that. Yeah, you might have seen the video that come out, the 16 bar chili pepper challenge. Yeah. We actually filmed this before he's done it, so he's about to go do that now. But I'm going to put on one of your tracks now, so let's get into it.
That's good.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Mate, anytime.
Yeah, hope you enjoy the food, man.
Always a pleasure.
Right on.
Yo, as the snare snaps he enters, bare ashy embers scattered there while he renders. He glares past the scared pack of bread standing breathless and stares at the square rapper there chatting wet without a care. Through the air daggers tear, now he's headless like a dare man to test us. Decapitating ways to set them right on my manky mantle. They stay in place by my spiced orange Yankee candle. Smashing eight for flake and then I ride off the wagon. That'll teach him not to underestimate this reprobate. I leave him shocked cause I'm electric, brain is Tesla grade. We stay in extra crazy, set the pace in every way. Respect the away for heaven's sake. Neglect and face the devil, mate, there's hell to pay. So tell your mates what I told you. We're up next, fresh faced and your old news. It holds truth, but it's hidden in a riddle. Cut this piggy in the middle and then bacon the whole crew.
Bonus round, as promised, Rogan Josh, yeah? We obviously gave everyone a plate, it's all been decimated, yeah? But Rogan Josh said he's going to eat the eye. So I'm sure some people want to see some gross shit. So look, take that, pop that out. Go on, and get in the shot, hang on, before you pop it in your mouth. Chew that up.
Goopy. But you can taste some sort of protein in that.
Yeah, do you want the other one?
A bit of rice just to wash that down.
I think this fish only up for that anyway, still.
That rice is banging some.
Fatty whack fish, you know? Alright. Anyway, but that's it from us, yeah? Catch you on the next episode.